Okay. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Good to see you guys. All right, I'm going to start off this meeting. I know we have slightly less than the Bronze One meeting, but that is because I think a lot of parents have kids in both groups. Also, I'm going to start off this meeting by saying that I am recording this one for parents who can't be here and for the Bronze Ones who couldn't be at the Bronze One meeting.
Okay.
I made the mistake of not recording that meeting. So a lot of the information is the same. So first off, hey, everybody, how's it going? It's good to see you. For those of you I know and those of you I don't, I am Coach Phil. I'm going to introduce you to myself and Coach Mary Bergstrom, who's here. He is new with us this year, and we are very, very fortunate to have her. She's a fantastic coach. I'll give you a little background on Mary. She sent me a lovely list of her accomplishments here. She has been in swimming ever since she was the age of 6 when she lived outside of Philadelphia. This is her 6th season with NCAP. Sorry, I'm just admitting people as we go through here. She's also been the head varsity coach for School Without Walls High School. She was there for 4 years where they won 3 DCIAA championships, and she received the Coach of the Year there in 2018 and 2019. I know of her from the FINS program where she coached at Prep. And she's a ton of accomplishments. She's also an attorney and federal advocate in DC. She is awesome, and she will be with us this year, as well as Coach Carey and Coach Dory, who will be with us from time to time. I'm Coach Phil. I live in Olney, Maryland. I've been with NCAP for about 4 years. Swam at RMSC and at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington before transferring to Maryland. I've coached MCSL and PMSL, and I've been a certified referee and starter and stroke and turn official for many years. Been a touring musician and own a booking and events company, works a lot with the Washington Nationals and does private events. And
Is that our new coach?
I have kids who one swims with Coach Dory in Silver One, and the other one is with us in Bronze One. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of run down a bunch of things, kind of previewing.
Oh, that's Phil.
Bronze 2. Okay. All right. So basically, what we're going to start off with is talking about the goals that we have for this year. All right. Now for Bronze 2, obviously, a lot of you guys are new to this. This may be your first year with us. The kids are kind of young. Some of you are returning, so welcome back. Our goal really is to make your swimmer love this sport more than they do now. We want them to develop friendships at practices, and to work on becoming more and more responsible each day that they are at practice. Sorry, I just been meeting a few more people. Okay. By this time next year, we want your swimmer to be significantly better than they are at this point right now. And this is something that we definitely can do, and we will be working hard to try and achieve. We're going to be working hard to maintain a balance between what is best for your swimmer and what's best for the entire group of swimmers. And we're going to try really hard to make, with our best efforts, to provide your athlete a range of growth opportunities. Some of them will be satisfying and fulfilling for them, and others will be a little bit hard, challenging, frustrating. You know, they may come back from some practice and say, wow, that was really hard. But the goal is for them to try and fight through it and learn something at each practice. And Coach Mary and I and Dory and Carrie, when he's there, will be working with your swimmers as best as we can one-on-one to improve strokes, to improve their swimming overall kind of attitude in each practice. Paralleling on over 2 practices, we want everybody to make at least 3 practices a week. You know, we have the options of 4, and we'd love to see the swimmers at 4. We'd love to see the swimmers make as many as they can, the maximum 4. But 3 is what we really definitely want them to be at. All of our swim practices this year are going to be at Georgetown Prep. Those of you who have been here in the past know that Prep sometimes has closures. They have holidays, and they have things they sometimes spring on us very close to last minute. We'll do our best to let you know, you know, if that is happening and where substitute practice will be, if there will be one. Most likely will be Montgomery Square, Potomac Pool, or Lakewood. But as of now, and as it's looking for the whole year, all of our practices will be at Georgetown Prep. Again, barring if they're going to be canceling something. right now, the way it's going to be throughout the year, Bronze 2 on Mondays is from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. On Wednesdays, they are the same time, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Thursdays, they're from 6 to 7 in the evening. And on Sundays, Bronze 2 will be together with Bronze 1 from 4:30 to 6 p.m. This Thursday, the first week, prep is closed. So there is no practice on Thursday for Bronze 2, but we will have it on Wednesday for the first practice. Going further with practices, punctuality is a big deal. Trying to be there on time. We want the kids to try and get there 10 minutes early so they're not rushing into anything on the deck. Expect the kids to come prepared with their equipment, with their water bottles. Definitely last year, we probably had kids bring water bottles about half the time or half the amount of kids. And the water is so important in practices for them to stay hydrated. So please make sure they have the water bottles. They should be dressed to start and arrive with a positive attitude. The equipment, as I sent out in the email to you guys, that we want the kids to have, we want them to have the fins. I sent a link, an Amazon link to a good suggestion for fins. We don't want any of the short ones, none of the Zoomers right now, especially at this age, because we want kids working on keeping their legs straight. And the Zoomers tend to inhibit that and make them bend their knees a little bit when they're kicking. We want them to have a kickboard. They should have 2 pairs of goggles in case something goes wrong with one pair. A backup suit is a really good idea in addition to the one they have, and for in case something rips or something goes wrong. The snorkel, which I also sent out a link to. We will use snorkels a lot to work on head technique and working on breathing. 2 caps, they wear caps, a backup cap in case one rips. And I'm recommending that they have a nose clip this year. For when we're working on our underwater kicking on our back and our underwater butterfly kicking. Okay, in addition to that, I'm going to be giving all of the kids a cap at the beginning of this year that has their name on both sides. This is for them to get to know one another, to know the swimmers in their lanes, and it's for the coaches and other coaches who might be on deck so that they know who the kids are as we're beginning. I know most of the kids. A lot of them are new though, so they'll be new to me and they'll be new to Mary. She's new with us at this site, and Dory as well. So she pops in from time to time. And then the biggest thing really, about the practices is for the kids to always try their best. I always say to them, I try to remind them that if they're trying their best, that's always enough. That's what they got to be able to do, is look in the mirror at the end of the day and say, did I work really hard? Did I try my best at it? Forget about where they finished in the practices. That doesn't really matter. It's just about them trying to pay attention, try to put into their stroke mechanics the things that Coach Mary and I are talking about. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go on to the swim meets. And by the way, I apologize. I have everyone muted right now just in case your mics are on and so everyone can hear. But I'll unmute you at the end so you can ask questions. Okay, so for swim meets, for Bronze 2, we have some kids that are going to have a lot more opportunities than others. There are some kids that are 8 and unders, and just the way it goes with us, we have mini meets for the 8 and unders, but there's not often as many opportunities to swim meets as there are for those who are 9 and above. 5 to 6 meets max typically tends to be what we have for our 8 and unders. Throughout March, from October to March. And then the 9 and ups have a lot more opportunities just because there are meets for them. And that's okay, because when you're young and at that age, we're working a lot more on stroke mechanics. And so when the mini meets come about, it's really good for them to try and make all of those. But at the same time, we're going to be doing a lot more work in practice to try and build their mechanics. But here's what we have on the docket as of right now. We have a coaches meeting on September 11th where we're going to finalize what meets we're doing. But these are about 80–90% solid as the ones we're going to. For the 9 and ups, we have October 1st is an all freestyle meet we're probably going to be attending. And then October 14th and 6th through the 16th is the October Open. We'll definitely be at that. On October 30th, we have an 8 and under meet, the 10 and under rock hopper. That's a good one. And then November 5th and 6th is the MAG meet. That is a time qualifier meet down in Richmond, Virginia this year. It used to be in Stafford, but that is top 4 for all of NCAP in each age group. So if we have any in our groups that are that's a really cool meet to go to. Following that, there's the November Open, which we'll definitely be at. That's November 11th and 13th. November 20th, we have the Pilgrim Mini Meet for the younger guys. That's a cool meet too. And then we have our December championship meets. We've got, this year, we're going to do something a little different. We're either going to have the Turkey Claws or the Christmas Champs. They're on the same weekend. And that is for swimmers who don't have the accurate amount of time cuts to attend the NCAP Invitational Championship meet from December 8th to 11th. And they're both going to be great meets. We're just not sure which one we're going to do, the Turkey Claws or Christmas Champs this year. We'll know by September 11th. And then for the young guys, we have the Candy Cane Mini Meet on December 18th. And we have the holidays. All right. January 7th and 8th is the January distance meet. I don't think anybody from Bronze 2 will be doing that. Maybe some bronze ones. January 21st and 22nd is the January Open. That will definitely be at. The 29th, we have the Little Blue Penguin Pentathlon / Polar Pentathlons. We are definitely going to do one or both of those. That's a really cool meet. And that's for the younger guys and for the ones who are a little bit older. Then we hop into February. We're going to do this new meet this year, the Annapolis Senior Meet. That's mostly for Bronze 1, but some Bronze 2s will. And then we have the MCOP qualifier on February 17th and 19th. And then for the younger guys, Mini Champs, the Mini Championship meet is February 25th and 26th. And that's the championship meet for the 8 and unders and some of the other slightly older kids. And then in March, we move into it. We have Junior Olympics for the time qualifiers. And we're going to do probably Cherry Blossom Champs or Spring Champs this year. We're debating between those two. Spring Champs is kind of like the alternative to Junior Olympics without the time cuts, but it's almost more than 2 weeks after Junior Olympics, and we don't like it being that far apart. So we're looking for this other meet, possibly this Cherry Blossom Senior Champs meet then. We are going to do a spring travel meet, most likely, the Richmond meet that we usually do, but I'll know more about that as we get into the year. And then the Phoenix meet may be happening as well, but that's typically for Bronze 1s. All right, so I'll let you know more conclusively what our final meet schedule is after we have our coaches meeting on September 11th. But those are the ones that are kind of up there now, and the majority of them will be happening. I'm going to move on to parent responsibilities. What I'm looking forward to you guys. Volunteering at the swim meets is something that we are never short. Yeah, I mean, never full on. We're always short on them. So you can volunteer to help out. It's a big deal at the meets. Whether you're just working with the with the hospitality, or if you're working as a deckhand, or if you're an officiant and you're helping volunteer, it's something that we really need you to do throughout the year from time to time. I'll be sending sign-up sheets for it and let you guys know about it before each meet. It's also a great way to be involved and learn the sport more and see your kids from the deck when they swim. So it's a really good thing. A couple more points about this. It's truly more important for you guys to witness your child's improvement in stroke technique and their effort when they're at practices, even more than them winning events or dropping time. If they're having fun, and they're enjoying going to practice, they're making friends, they're learning things, they're trying things a new way, that's so much more important, especially at this age. So, they're young, and we're really trying to make them into wonderful swimmers, even more than just like these fast bullets going through the water, which is something that will hopefully come after you have the technique down. Also, I don't really want you guys to compare your swimmer to other swimmers. It's something that can be very frustrating in many ways, and it's not really the right thing to do. Now, focus on your kid and trying to be a positive reinforcement for them. You can let Coach Mary and I work on mechanics that work best for your swimmer and ways for them to work their body in the water. And it's something that every swimmer does differently. People have changes in speed and technique at different times. And it's important to realize that everyone's going to be different. So don't get caught up in that comparison thing and wondering why my swimmer isn't 5 seconds faster when their best friend is, for whatever reason. They put in the time, they learn, they be a good student in practice, and things will all work out. All right. We really want them to learn to love this sport. And understand, that your wants may not be the wants of your child, and maybe vice versa. And that's okay. We're here to kind of try to get them to like this sport a lot right now. And that's what we're kind of working on. Lastly, on this point, understand that your swimmer is going to make a bunch of mistakes and mess up right now. They're kids, they're really young, and this is an okay thing. What's most important is what they learn from it. If they forget their goggles, or they break a piece of equipment, or, they forget the plans we talked about in the race beforehand. If they do that, and then we talk about it and they work on it in practice, and the next time it's something they've improved on, I mean, that's a win for me, and that should be a win for you. It's a big thing. So keep those kinds of things in mind. The more we can kind of positively reinforce what they're doing, and focus on the positives of things, I think the more they're going to feel more invested in it and want to get better. All right, so I'm going to parallel that over to attitude, behaviors, and / bullying, social media, all these things. At this age, I think if any of your kids are on social media, we should have a one-on-one talk. But I mean, I know everyone's like set different about this, so this is more for the older kids, the social media. But at practices, we highly encourage swimmers to watch other swimmers in meets, and to watch their buddies, to cheer them on. We encourage them to cheer them on when they're in lanes in practice. The whole thing is trying to create a positive atmosphere and a fun atmosphere for these kids to thrive in as they get older and get better. I think it should go without saying that bullying is not going to be tolerated for a second in any way. Goofing around, having fun with one another is one thing. And, if it's something that someone's getting bothered by it, and you let me know that another swimmer has been doing X, Y, or Z, and it's been bothering your swimmer in practice, I'll have a talk with them. We'll get it worked out. But most of the kids are very good kids, the ones that I know, and I'm sure all the new ones are. I'm positive of it. They're good, and they'll listen, and they'll understand. So we talk to them. But if there is anything out of the ordinary, I'll let you know that we'll pull them out, talk to them, and I'm probably going to send them home if it's really bad. So hopefully we don't get to that. And I haven't seen it in the past. I'm just letting you know that we're very big on trying to support one another and make it fun so that we can learn in a good light. And then, just, like I said, before you drop them off, try to influence it with a positive and fun attitude. We have them come in that way and being goofy, and they're probably going to learn and have fun as it goes on. We're going to try to be goofy with them, and at the same time, keep a good close eye on the things we're working on, whatever drill it is, or working on their kicks or whatever throughout the day. Coach Mary and I are going to we're going to try to talk to every kid at least once a day, with the kids that we have in the group at practice on site, and try and correct things throughout the practice. We're not coaches that just stand by, and kind of give the set and just say, okay, go faster. No, it's always going to be about what's going on with this individual, that individual. How can we correct it? How can we make it better? And then last thing here, when we're at swim meets, we don't really want any electronics on. I know that in this day and age, kids may have phones so they can reach you guys if you're not there, or if they need to be picked up. It's okay for them to be in the bags, but we don't want them on at the meet. We want them involved and being social with their buddies. We want them watching the other swims and cheering on their friends and trying to learn while they're at the meet. They can bring cards, they can play that, they can bring their books and read them. That's awesome. They can be social with their buddies, but that's really what we want happening at the actual swim meets. And then outside of swimming, we encourage kids doing other sports, especially at this age. This is a young age. Kids are learning what they like. And I don't want kids coming to swim practice feeling bad because they couldn't go to dance class or they couldn't go to basketball. If you guys are going to make both work, that's great. Let me know, and we'll try and balance both, especially at this age. We're not right now looking at Silver 1, or gold level swimming. We're trying to make kids love the sport and get better at it and learn from it, so that as they get to that age, they'll want to make that choice when the time is right. I sent out to you guys a couple packets of information, the Welcome to NCAT Bronze 1 and 2 packet that talks about our group expectations. It's like I went through most of this. There's some other things in there that are self-explanatory. We talked about the equipment. For goal setting, we're going to have the swimmers make a vision board, which is going to have various goals that they want. And they can make it as pretty as they want. They can decorate it. It's awesome. They're going to put some of their swimming goals for school, outside of swimming goals, and some things they like to do. And then before practice for the first couple weeks, we'll have 3 of the swimmers each day, 3 or 4, come up, share their vision board, and then they can take it home and hang it on their wall as a source of inspiration for the course of the year. We'll have the patches that swimmers can win, as far as time patches, B times, A times, AA times. We have patches for if they've completed a certain amount of events that we want them to try and get through in the year. They can put these on their coats and on their book bags and things. We have the golden kickboard, which we give out, which is a combined award between bronze 1 and bronze 2 every week. One swimmer gets it. And that's the swimmer who the week before was, tried the hardest in practice, more or less, who was a good influence, and just kind of a good leader all around. Maybe found some new techniques that we worked on and nailed them, got them down. But it's kind of like an award. They get to have it for a week and use it. And it's been going on now for 6 or 7 years. And they, at the end of the week, they sign it. And it's cool because there's some swimmers' names on there now who are getting really fast, probably going to be some Olympians. And it's the award that they have had, at the same time, and shared with other swimmers who've kind of moved on to do bigger and better, greater things. I'm also doing an award this year called the Ashley Cap. And at the beginning of the year, I'm giving out a cap with everyone's name on it. I started doing this last year. It was very helpful. As I mentioned, it helps us to get to know everyone's names for the first couple of weeks. But we had a swimmer last year, Ashley, who wore it well into March before it ripped, and she was way beyond anyone else. Everyone else might have gotten rid of it by like November or something, but her was like a source of pride. So whoever is good, keeps it the longest throughout the year is going to get a gift card to somewhere. It'll be a prize. And then as far as fun things, outside of swimming, and at practices, we will do our annual Halloween practice where we do some goofy events and everybody dresses up. We do a little parade around the deck beforehand with music and stuff. We're going to do a holiday party where everyone will get together either at a bowling or Top Golf or something, and we'll have food there and maybe a Secret Santa thing like we've done in the past. We do the ropes course at Sandy Spring in the springtime, and that's really fun. We usually do a Top Golf trip. And little individual kind of things too. Like, so, Coach Mary and I, when practice has been going really well and everybody's been focusing and we're getting some of the things done we want to, I'll never shy away from rewarding them with a relay or some sort of fun, goofy set towards the end, especially if they're really on it for the day. But, there'll be other days where things may not be going quite the way we want, and we may completely halt the plan for practice just to focus on a butterfly kick all day long, because I'd rather our kids be working on that and getting something right than trying to focus on 4 things and some speed set or something. It's much better for them just keep beating in their head, get it there, figure out a fun way to figure out that kick. So that may happen at times as well. And then beyond that, sorry, I'm looking over here just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Prep, for those of you who are new, I sent out this prep pool and parking guidelines sheet. They are pretty on us about things. I mean, I think it goes without saying not to park in a handicapped space unless you are a person that has the ability to do so. I don't think any of us would ever do that, but don't do that. They also have spaces there for that are designated only for prep staff. You can't park there unless it's like really after hours. It says on there it's marked. And if you look at the sheet I sent you, the top 2 pictures on the second page, if you get a chance to look at it later, if you don't have it now, the first one has the turnaround loop. All right, that is where they want you to drop off the swimmers. Okay, in that loop, you'll know it when you get it back around there if you haven't been there before. And then the bottom one is where you can park if you're going to stick around, all right, on the prep site. But familiarize yourself with the rules for our natatorium use over there at prep. The locker room etiquette for the kids, they are allowed to use the locker rooms, but very briefly. For the bronze 1 kids that swim on Thursday mornings, they are allowed to go and shower real quick if they're quick and head back down. But that will pretty much explain everything else. I also sent out the NCAP 101 sheet that just answers some basic questions you may have. And beyond this, and I'm going to unmute everybody in a second so we can answer some questions. Beyond this, do I have this? Sorry. Beyond this, if you guys ever have any questions, and you want to reach out to me about anything, this is totally fine. You can totally do that at any point. Email is usually the best, but if you want to reach me after practice, that's almost always fine, unless I'm in a hurry to get somewhere, in which case I'll let you know. But since our practices this year are after Browns ones, I should be around. So if you need to reach out to me. And from there, Mary, do you have anything you want to add? Are you good? I feel like I've been talking a lot.
I'm excited to meet everyone.
Okay. Do any of you guys have any questions? Is there anything on the top of your mind? Anything you're worried or want to know about right now? This is amazing. This is almost 2 things in a row with no questions. I think we got 1 question in the Browns 1 meeting. Nothing at all. Yes.
Bill, I'll ask a question.
There you go.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thanks. So, I did read the handout, and I know you briefly ran through the various meets, but can you give a little bit more as to how the meets work in terms of the events, choosing the events? Is that all done by you?
Yeah.
And some of the events you have to qualify for, but some you obviously don't, right?
So here's how it will go. So before every meet comes up, 2 to 3 weeks usually in advance, maybe more, you will get, you'll get an email from Dory Hobby, Silver One coach, and she will send all the information about, you need to log into your Team Unify account and commit. That's the biggest thing, like whether or not your swimmer can make it. All right. And there will be instructions on each email. She's very good about copying and pasting this, telling you how to get into your Team Unify account, where to go, what to do, what to hit. So you just follow the steps and do it. If it's still a problem, you reach out to me, I'll help you through it. And another thing I will do is I will write you, if you have not committed, I'll write the 7 or 8 people that'll tell me in Team Unify who has and who hasn't. I'll write you and say, hey, just checking in to see if Tommy and Joe are going to this meet, whoever. And you can get back to me and let me know. Then as far as the events they're swimming, for meets like, say, the October Open, the open meets where there's a lot of opportunity to do whatever and there's no time cut, I will happily listen to any suggestions you have or wants that you have for your swimmer. Very rarely will I go against it unless we're looking at something like making a JO's cut and you may have overlooked a certain event. And I may say, well, we're like half a second off in the 50 breast or something. Like we should really probably do this instead of 200 free. I may say something like that, but I'll always have a reason. I'm never going to be like, no, I want her doing all backstroke or him doing all backstroke. So yes, please feel free to make suggestions away and let me know. And I'd say 9.9 times out of 10, I'm going to go with what you say. But I'm not just blindly doing it. I'm going to look at the times and I'm going to try to diversify our swimmers and get everybody to do more and more events. One thing I dislike doing is looking at a swimmer's lineup of their times and seeing that they have 4 events that they have times in and 8 others they don't. And I'd like to kind of spread it out a bit, but we'll do it on a case-by-case basis. Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure, of course. Any other questions?
Yeah, this is Jennifer Spinelli.
Hi.
Hi. So I'm wondering, just to kind of help with the home conversations with our swimmer, when, if at all, we can get feedback from you? Like when can we expect just feedback so we can kind of help at home?
Great question. So, and I actually forgot to mention something that I mentioned the other one because of you. Thank you. So I do a mid-year report card, one-on-one parent meeting. It'll either be in person or Zoom. It's usually like a half hour. And it's this elaborate report card I kind of make about different, where your swimmer's at, things we've done, where I think they're going to be in the next year as far as group progression, things I'd like to see improved. And we talk through each thing. Beyond that, if there is a problem, like for instance, if somebody seems like they're afraid to do something, or maybe something's not getting corrected right, I will reach out to you one-on-one and say, hey, I'm having a little issue with this, but this is very rare that happens. Now, if I have a swimmer that say can't get the butterfly arms right compared to someone else after like a month, it's still not a problem if they're working on it. You know, I'm going to try to find another way to reach them as far as like, why do these arms need to be simultaneous or something like that, just as a case in point. But I will reach out to you individually. Most of the time, it's either if I need something or if there's something that I see as a hurdle for your swimmer in practice. On the contrary, though, you can reach out to me at any time to ask any questions if there's something you feel you see or something seems weird. As I was mentioning, the biggest thing is to try to do positive reinforcement if you're watching them in a meet or something like that. But as far as like complete feedback and an overall thing, a couple months in, like around like January, December time is when I do the mid-year meetings, and I sent out a sign up genius for it. So you can sign up for times, and we'll either do an in-person, say at prep, or we'll do a Zoom meeting. And we'll go over things there. And then we do another one usually at the end of the year too, like before the summer. But other than that, you can reach out at any time.
Okay, that's really good to hear. Thank you very much.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. And if this other I have another question though. I don't know if, because I dialed in a few minutes late. Do you know if prep's gonna open at all again?
To viewers, to spectators, right now, they just let us know 3 days ago that they are not open to spectators now. But I would anticipate this will change once they've had their own events in there. Like, you know, their basketball, whatever they do, or swimming and stuff, and they're seeing how it goes. Right now, they're still sticking to COVID kind of guideline thing. And our hands are tied based upon what they tell us. So, I mean, truthfully, I don't know if I'm the minority saying this, but I would love to have parents there because I like for you guys to see what we're doing on the deck. You know, Mary and I are not the kind of coaches that go into a practice without a plan. And I don't think anybody at NCAP is, but, you know, I've known other sites and I've had my kids involved with other groups in the past where they kind of just went in and went by the seat of their pants. But, you know, we think about what we're having our kids do a week to 2 weeks out in advance and plan the practices. And I like for you guys to see that because I like for you to see what we're working on and then you can compare that to their meets. But we're kind of at the mercy of what prep says. And right now it's no spectators just yet.
Okay.
In looking in the chat here, I got a thing from the Greers that say we have Alex and Thomas in different groups this year. And yes, you do. And you actually have Kristen in another one too. On a rare occasions where there is a conflict for one, can we send them both to the same practice? Okay, so I have had a lot of people from this group reach out to me saying I've got time constraints for a bronze 2 swimmer. Can I have them go to bronze 1? This is where it's a bit of a problem this year because we have a big separation this year between the skill level of bronze 2 and bronze 1, which is not a bad thing in any way. It's just the bronze 1 practice is going to be a much bigger step than it has been in years past from bronze 2. There's a lot more yardage going on. The efficiency, I would say, like speed level of some of the swimmers is a little more streamlined up there than it is down here. And that's fine. It's an age thing with some other things going on. So it's going to be really hard for bronze 2 swimmers to go to bronze 1 and really be able to keep up. Now we can do this on a one-by-one basis. We can talk individually. Obviously every swimmer is different. It's something I don't want to make a habit out of, but if there is an occasion where something happens and we talk about it individually, we might be able to make it work here and there. But other than that, it's going to be really hard for them to do and not something you should lean on.
Okay. Thanks, Phil.
Sure. Yeah, of course. But yeah, reach out to me individually and we'll see what we can do. And specifically, I know you guys have 3 kids in 3 different groups. So, you know, I understand. Oh, look at that. That's nice. The Sinclairs can help the Greers. See, I like that. You know, do any of you live in Olney, for crying out loud? There's nobody out in Olney. I'm out here alone. I can't get my kids anywhere. But no, as far as the carpool thing, to piggyback on that, Dory Halby sent out something I think you guys should have gotten about a wonderful arranged kind of like carpool thing where you can reach out to people and let them know if you want to develop a carpool friendship. And I think that's a great thing that they should have done years ago. If you need me to send that link, I will. The other thing is you can expect to get at least 1 email a week from me. Giving you guys an update. I won't leave you guys hanging as far as practices, just as reminders to like, hey, this is what we've got coming up. This is where our practices are. This meet's coming on the horizon. Your equipment's ready, yada, yada. So you can expect to get those once a week as well as once a month, a couple weeks in advance, the calendar for a little bit out. And then we have about a minute and a half left if there's any more questions. No? Well, if not, oh, is someone popping in? Maybe, maybe not. If there's not, you guys, like I mentioned, you can reach out to me at any point on email. I recorded this one, so I'm going to send this to everybody and send out to the bronze ones as well. Oh, did you have a question?
I did. I have two super quick ones just to clarify. So you rattled off a whole bunch of dates about me.
So for those, I was just
They're
gonna
not
say-
on Team Unify yet, are they?
No, nope, you will get those in advance. They're on the PBS
After the election.
website. So if you wanted the basics about it, you can go to PBS. I'm gonna, believe me, I'll never leave you hanging. I'm gonna send you guys a list of everything after September 11th, when we know everything, we're definitely doing 100%.
Okay, I know. I saw Dory's email about when the meets come out, you have to reply. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
no, what am I missing already?
You won't miss a thing. You guys are all okay right now. I will pull you in for everything. And then this may be, oh, please go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I got another thing in the chat here, but you might be able to get in. I think we have like 30 seconds, but
Okay.
go ahead.
Just feedback. Will Peyton have the opportunity, like if she has an issue or something, I like to let my kids do it. Does she have a way of giving feedback to you or Mary or whatever, as opposed to it coming from me?
Yeah, sure.